Okay, in this video we'll be looking at importing data from a text file. To do that, I'm first going to open up my customers table, and I'm going to show you that I've already got 2 customers in my database. And what we're doing here is we're going to append data to a table, which means that we're going to be taking data from a file and we're going to be adding it to a table that already exists. Now, what we could also do is I could also just import the data into a brand new table, but since I've already got a customers table, I'm going to import it into into a table that already exists. I've got to make sure of a few things. So the data in a text file is randomly generated data which I've taken from my website. I'll share that in a video link. So as you can see, I've already got 2 records in my database for customers, and the customer IDs are auto number. The problem is this table, as I import it, it's going to come up with errors because there is another 2 customers here with customer ID 1 and 2. So if I scroll down, there are exactly 100 customers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the customer ID here to 101 and 102. That way when it imports, because I've already got 2, it won't come up with an import error. It will just import the last 2 at the bottom of the database. The next thing to make sure of is just to make sure that all the IDs, so if you look at the first row here, these are the field names. I just got to make sure that all the field names are exactly the same as the field names in mine, and they're written in the same way. It doesn't matter if they're capitals or lowercase. What's important is spacing, underscores, etc. So for example, customer ID, first name looks right, surname looks right, date of birth is okay, address, postcode, phone number, exactly the same. Look, it's a capital here, but that won't matter as long as there isn't a space. Email and then ledger, that's fine. So I'm going to save my data table, and now I'm going to go through the steps to import this into my table. So first I have to close this customer table, click on external data and then text file, and I'll go to the folder where I have my text file. There's my customers data table, dataset. I'll click on open, and here it says import the source data into a new table. We don't want to do that. We want to append a copy of the data to a table that exists, and we want to put it into our customers table. Click OK. There we are, all the data came up. Just one thing, while importing data, sometimes when importing a phone number, it may come up with an error, and phone numbers may not import. To do that, in this case, I'm just making sure that when I import, I'm going to import to Western European and Windows. I don't know, it didn't work the last few times I tried it. It has worked when I've done this. So click on OK, click on next. First row contains field names. Just make sure that everything's in order. Everything looks like it's in the right place. It does. Phone numbers are right, postcodes in the right column, and then click on next and finish, and then hopefully no glitches. And there we have it. There's all our data imported. If you remember the first 2 I kept, so record 1, record 2, and I changed the first 2 on the data file to 101 and 102, and they've imported correctly as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's save this table. Let's close it. If you remember, my films table only had 2 films in it. I'm going to delete that films table. Now, the problem is that table was related to something else. It was related to the other tables. The reason why I'm deleting it is because I want to import data completely from into a new table as opposed to appending like I did before, and then I'll create the relationships again. So to do that, once again, I'm going to click on external data, and this time I want to import data into a new table. Okay, I've got my films. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Okay, so The film's text file is a dataset I've borrowed from online and edited slightly. So there was somewhere in the region of I think 5,000 films. I've reduced that to just over 100, and I've changed some of the field names and some of the data to make it easier for us to import. So to do that, click on next. Oh, and once again, I will, just like before, I will include the text file to be so you can try and download it yourself as well, play with it. Okay, so first row is headings. Once again, just have a quick little look through to make sure all the data looks okay. Anything different? Let's think about it. Production company, name of film, film ID. It looks okay to me. The only thing I think is when we import a table like this, we can set the film ID as primary key, but we can't set it to auto number. However, if I had imported this data into a table that already existed, because all these IDs are actually unique. In fact, these IDs are directly taken from the IMDb website. They would have been unique, and I would have been able to keep my auto number function, but I'm not going to be able to do that here. So let's click on next. Yes, this index duplicates are not okay, and at this point we're going to have to select our primary key as well. So look, it's created an ID for us. We're going to say no, we're choosing our primary key as film ID. Click on next again, import, close. Oh, we have some errors, but we'll see what they are. So if we look at film text, that's our film table. All our films are in order of ID. Oh, I can see that there's a film there with missing data. Okay. Okay. I know what's wrong here. The film title unfortunately has a comma in it. As a result, the line in which in a wardrobe has not. Chronicles of Narnia. Oops, hold on. So it would have been the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, and we'll just take this data here. So if you remember, each table is separated by a comma. Sorry, each field is separated by a comma. In this case, unfortunately, there's a comma in the title of the film. So that should be okay now. So if I take that data there and just copy across. And there you have it. Now we have a table with no anomalies, no mistakes. Okay, let's save our table, and there you have it. Now I can now rename that as TBL_films, and let's delete the errors. I know what they are, I don't have to see it. Okay, and lastly what I might do now is open my transactions once again, and let me quickly redo the relationships that I'm missing now. So transactions, the films table, just redo my relationships with the films table, name of film, ascending order, that looks correct. Enable integrity. Okay, so if I close that and go back to database tools and relationships. There we are. Our relationships are back in place with our films table. Okay, and that's how you import data into Access.